Hey, morning everyone. Welcome to the briefing on Friday the 12th of August. All right, still lovely and sunny outside, hot. It looks like it's getting a degree hotter today than it did yesterday. So, what have we got? Well, it sort of looks like a high pressure. It's sort of high pressure still around us. What you'll notice if you saw the briefing yesterday, this was about 1,022 across the centre of the country, 1,020 today across the middle of the country. Over us, the pressure's dropped about 2 degrees, 1,019 at the moment, which is a good thing. It means the air is remaining unstable enough to give us some decent gliding weather. And there's wide spacing on the isobars to mean the wind's fairly light from the east. You don't want the pressure to go down too far, otherwise you'll get what you've got over southern France, over the Alps, southern Alps, and Spain. You've got heat lows, which essentially trigger thunderstorms, and there's some quite nasty thunderstorms over the southern Alps yesterday afternoon. I was watching that on the rainfall radar. But it is sort of a potential that the pressure goes down below about 1,014, but you've still got sort of all this heat that the air's unstable enough to start triggering thunderstorms. So for us, still high pressure, light easterly, still good conditions, hopefully. Just quickly flash up the TAFs for Farnborough and Gatwick. Bit of an odd one here because it's suddenly putting in there 235 knots. Can't see where on earth that's coming from, because most places are easterly at the moment, and all the forecasts are saying easterly, not perhaps 10 knots around the forecast, 6 to 8 knots, but generally from the east, and everywhere is pretty much giving cav okay. No cloud below 5,000 feet. Upper winds, light easterly, the centre of the country, 10 knots. Bit stronger down in the Channel and northern France, of course, Guernsey, Jersey area there, but generally an easterly flow at about 10 knots. Sat pick could have been a rerun of yesterday and the day before and the day before that. Perfectly clear, very little if any upper cloud to stop the heating, and very quickly it's going to get warm. It's already just nudging towards 22 degrees. 32 was the high yesterday, certainly 33 today, maybe a little bit more than that, and 34 for tomorrow and Sunday by the looks of it. Dew points, they're a little bit lower than they were this time yesterday. Some of the dew points around East Anglia are about 16s and 17s at the moment. But again, they'll go down. There'll be a potential from some cumulus around here relating to a sea breeze. But dew points around us, around 11 to 12s, 13s, they'll be down to around 6 and 7s. So I think very little chance of cumulus, though top meteo does very bizarrely show a little bit of cumulus very late afternoon in the Salisbury area. Soundings, always take these with a slight pinch of salt. That's 12 o'clock. So by 12 o'clock, you should have sort of 30 degrees. And I think it says 5,000 feet plus there. I think by 1 o'clock, maybe it's getting towards that. And then in the afternoon, with 33 degrees, it says 8,000 feet. I think it's a little bit optimistic. This is around Lasham. And again, further north, it's a similar sort of picture, saying it's going to be really, really high. I think the important one to look at today is the actual Lark Hill. Key pits for it well, the inversion is pretty strong. That runs, it's going to take 27 degrees to sort of shift that before we get any mixing in here. 27, 28 degrees, 1,000 meters. And if we've got a max temperature of 33, 34 today, follow the line up, 1,800 meters or thereabouts, maybe a little bit more. But it's one of those days where, yeah, the air is very, very unstable all the way up through here. Hotter it gets, higher the thermals are going to go. So 34 degrees, if we did get that, then it would be up around 2,000 meters, 6,000 feet plus. So more temperature, higher thermals, folks. Nice and dry, and then I think there's very little chance of cumulus unless it got to about 36 degrees. And then I think you might trigger some fairly big Q. And certainly there would be potential, if you've got really hot, potential for thunderstorms up through here, but I don't think it's going to get that warm. What a top meteo make of it? Well, cloud base at 1,300 feet, there is 1,300 hours, there are no clouds, and it runs through all day. And then this is odd, about 6 o'clock in the evening, it's saying, you know, somewhere west of Salisbury Plain danger area, sudden bit of cumulus. I have no idea what could be causing that or why that's popped up on the chart, but there you go. So thermal heights, both top meteo and sky sight are saying it getting going about midday. I think it'll be at least midday before you get the temperatures you need to really sort of stir things up and get proper thermals up to a reasonable height. And then from then on, they're being fairly optimistic. They're saying 2,200 to the west of us by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And around this area here, from Oxford south towards Salisbury, they're sort of saying 2,200 to 2,600 meters. I think, yeah, that's a bit optimistic. I think there's the potential certainly for 5,000 feet plus. Looking at that 33 degrees, yeah, near 6,000 feet, 1,800 meters, I think will be about right. The projected distance on top meteo for an 18-meter glider, anywhere between 300 and 500k out to the west, northwest in this area here. So fairly reasonable. Sky sight, I think a little bit more accurate. This is heights of thermals by sort of 1 o'clock, 1,700 meters they're saying in this area here. So yeah, I think 4,000 feet by that sort of time should be about right. And then move it forward a couple of hours, about 2:30. And they're saying nudging up to 6,000 feet, maybe a bit more in this area here, out to the northwest. Showing it very good in the west of England. It isn't normally, but I suppose the wind might be in the right direction. No sea air incursion, and it gets fairly hot down there. So yeah, so quite a reasonable day again, folks. Essentially because the pressure is slowly coming down and the temperature is slowly going up, so they're working in our favour. Sky sight's potential distance, not too dissimilar to top meteo, similar sort of area. Okay, so yeah, quite good, getting going, probably midday-ish, working on from there really. And the following day, so we've got the Nationals starting tomorrow, quite reasonable again. I think we're drawing in a little bit more southeasterly air for the weekend, and perhaps a little bit more of a challenge on Sunday, but still going to be pretty warm. Monday's when things start to change, where the weather appears to break down, but we still should get something out of it. So I think it's going to be hopefully a good start to the competition. Okay, airspace wise, one or two things going on. Tucked in there in the middle of the Salisbury Plain danger area, number 19 is Tills Head. There's parachuting 12:30 to 1500 local time. Number 17 is just high intensity, and 20 are high intensity radio transmissions. Stuff to the east of Lasham. There are parachuting there, but it's all inside the airspace. And then moving further north, looks fairly quiet, and it is really. Number 32, tucked in here, northwest of the Severn Estuary, is parachuting Eastnor Castle. I didn't even look at where that actually is, and it's at Ledbury, and it's 1545 to 1615. Number 35 is Sywell, aerobatics 1500 to 1520. And just to sort of move it on up through here, there's parachuting at Shawbury, north of the Mind, 1245 to 1400 hours local. All the rest of this, don't overfly, powered aircraft and paragliding sites and stuff like that. Nothing of real importance. I haven't looked beyond that sort of line here, the Wash, to sort of beyond the north of the Mind. I don't think it's going to be anybody going that far today. Operationally, we're on 09. Like my recommendation yesterday, go to the runway when you want to fly. One inbound jet movement, 737 inbound at 1645. And that really is about it. And once the comp starts, all jet movements will take place outside of our normal sort of competition hours, before 8:30 in the morning and after sort of 7 o'clock in the evening. Just one word of note, BJ sent out a notification yesterday about tinder dry airfields and the fire risk. Just be aware of that. One thing that struck me is there's one or two gliders parked in grass areas where the grass might have been long at one point, but has just become very dry in that area. Be very careful if you drive your car into there, folks. Catalytic converters get really, really hot and have been known to set grass airfields on fire. So just be a bit careful with that. And be aware of the fact that the ground is tinder dry, and it wouldn't take much, like a discarded cigarette, to set things alight, which is certainly what we don't want. Okay, go and enjoy, folks. Have another good day.